Hello again, welcome back to part 2 of a series where every time I beat a boss, I spin a wheel that randomly chooses my next subclass. In the last video, I said that if you had any ideas for subclasses that I hadn't added to the wheel yet, to tell me in the comments and I would most likely add them. Some of the ideas I added were short swords only, which I'm honestly surprised I hadn't thought about them last time, engineer subclass, meaning that I could only deal damage using traps, and wands only, where I can only use things that are classified as a wand from the wiki. With that out of the way, I decided that the first boss I was going to fight in this video was going to be Queen Bee, just so that I could get things like bee-nades and the unlikely chance that I get Thrower as one of my next subclasses, as well as for the other loot since Queen Bee does have some decent loot that I can use. I decided to fight Queen Bee in the hive first, just because I was too lazy to actually build an arena outside the hive. It would have taken me only like 10 minutes to do so it doesn't really go too well. Honestly, half health isn't that bad since I barely had any room to dodge any of the attacks in the first place. After getting some extra dynamite, I immediately start heading back to the jungle and find a different hive pretty easily. I actually made a better arena this time so I could actually dodge, which paid off significantly. Alright, let's spin the wheel. Alright, looks like I just barely managed to get flails. Since I beat the brain in the last part, I actually had access to a flail that I could use for once, which saves me a lot of time looking for another flail. I could have waited to use the flail against a boss like Deerclops, but I felt like getting the Eye of Cthulhu out of the way. That way I actually had a dash and wouldn't need to worry about it later in the run. With no struggle whatsoever, I easily defeated the Eye of Cthulhu, which means now it's time for another subclass. Next one is wands, and it looks like the best wand I can get at my stage in progression is the Aqua Scepter. Since I unfortunately didn't have the scepter, I needed to make a trek to the dungeon. I can't kill any mobs until I get the weapon I need, which means I can't kill dungeon slimes, but the dungeon pods do have a small chance to drop a golden key. After not that long at all, I managed to get myself a golden key, and by some miracle, I got the Aqua Scepter on the first chest I unlocked, which was great. I reforged the scepter until I got a decent modifier, and also finally got a Tinkerer's Workshop and rocket boots for some Spectre boots. Instead of going straight for Deerclops, I went down to the underworld to start working on a Hell Bridge, as I didn't want to be stuck with a subclass that I could barely do damage with while I was building. The fact that I built the bridge now and not later saved me so much time later, but you'll see why later in the video. After building the arena for the Wall of Flesh, I went searching in the underground tundra for two things: ice skates and flinxes. I needed flinxes for a Deerclops summon, and I needed ice skates because I realized just how close I was to being able to get Terraspark boots. Here's a fun fact: I actually have never gotten Terraspark boots in vanilla Terraria before. I've only gotten them with the help of mods, like in Calamity for example. After failing to find ice skates, but managing to get enough flinx fur, I farmed some demonized for some lenses. I went to the Crimson to make the summon, made an arena in the tundra, and then started the fight against Deerclops. Now that Deerclops is dead, I spun the wheel to see what my next subclass was going to be, and this is what I meant when I said that I was going to build the Hellbridge first because I didn't want to end up with a bad subclass. Not that this one was bad, it's actually really good against the Wall of Flesh, but the fact that I could only use weapons that destroyed tiles meant that it would be really hard to fight against normal enemies. I started collecting wood first because anything that holds items will not be blown up by bombs, including the blocks below them. I wasn't planning on making chests, but I was gonna make dressers instead, as they also hold items and are much cheaper to make than chests since they don't need iron. After placing all of the dressers down on my arena, I went on a glorious hellstone mining session. I made full molten armor and tools, and I could have fought the Wall of Flesh here and called it a day, but I wanted to get Terraspark boots, so I continued searching for some ice skates. These Hermes boots will look very good sitting in my accessories chest for the entirety of the run. Please be ice skates, please be ice skates, please be ice skates. Let's go! Finally, I didn't show all of the chests I searched, but I finally found them! Let us out! I bit my tongue, ow, that hurt. I then realized that I also needed to get the lava charms, so I started searching underground for some chests in hopes of finding it. Now you may be thinking, but wait, can't you just get a magma stone and throw it in the shimmer for a lava charm? Well, yes I could, but if you remember, I can't really fight air enemies like that, since my only weapons right now are bombs and dynamite. Also, I haven't even found the shimmer yet, and I did not feel like searching for it. I looked through so many different chests and was not able to find a lava charm in any of them, so I decided that Terraspark boots would have to wait. Also, funny enough, I wasn't able to find an aglet yet either, even though that's a very common thing on the surface, which meant that I still wouldn't have been able to get it either way. I placed some heart lanterns across my arena, got potions, stocked up on dynamite, and finally tossed the guide voodoo doll into the lava. Since I had bombs, this fight did not take that long whatsoever, and I was able to easily beat the wall of flesh, which means now this world has officially entered hard mode, unlocking many different bosses to challenge later on. Before I end this video, I need to spin the subclass wheel yet again. Looks like we're back to yo-yos, which is honestly a great start for hard mode, as it could have been much worse. But we won't be fighting any of the bosses with it until next time. Well, as always, hopefully you've enjoyed this playthrough so far as much as I have, and well, yeah, see you in the next one.